welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new, and today I have another episode of my notsoberry challenge. Now, it's been a while since I recorded, and I also did a lot off camera as well, although I will admit it hasn't been recent since I last played off camera, so I don't remember what the last thing I did was on camera or even off, although I'm sure you can see this. I will talk about this in a second. We also have this, which is a sim made by one of you guys. Their name is Sissy Mac. They are very cute, and they are going to be Thea's third enemy. But I think I'm just going to work on some of those kind of rules off camera because I'm really enjoying like the on-camera storytelling element of this Let's Play. But yes, I also am about to get the third enemy because we have this guy, we had Kiera, and then Sissy, 3 enemies. What are we on? We are on 3 out of 4 for the aspiration completed, so we're on the 4th level actually. We are a level 4 in the scientist career, and 6 in mischief, and 5 in logic, and we have a voodoo doll. It's not connected to anyone yet, but it should hopefully be soon. But I know you guys are looking at this and you're seeing Kiera McIntosh. First of all, Kiera got a makeover. I wasn't loving their look, if I'm being really honest. Every time I would record, I would kind of look at her, and I was like, I don't love how they're looking. I, want to do something different. So I did a lot of editing to their face, and I think she looks so beautiful now. Also, the longer hair. I actually think the longer hair suits her a lot better than the shorter hair, but that might be a personal opinion. But yeah, I also really love this hair as well. I believe it's by Sims Trouble, but she looks so good now. I love her look. I also changed her eyes from red to brown because I didn't love the way the red eyes look. I don't have any good red eye contacts either, and it just looked too much. So yes, but you also see this, the relationship. They're dating. Also, I don't know what this is. I don't know why that happened. But they're dating. Now, this is planned. This is a part of the plot. Don't worry. I know what you're thinking. I got a message about their relationship, and the message was basically like, oh, I feel like there's not much to it. I'm not going to say who this person is, by the way. I honestly appreciated the message so much. And even though you may hear it and you might be like, oh, that's, it might come across as rude. But what they were saying was actually so helpful because it was all things I'd thought before too. I was like, I honestly don't really love how quickly everything with them went as well. In terms of just like kind of being like, oh, here's a relationship. But guys, I promise I have a whole thing in my notes app figured out. It's for the plot and all that jazz. So I'm not just purposely I am purposely rushing into things, but I'm not like doing it for the sake of doing it. It just all has to do with the plot and everything like that. But basically, they're already together. They spent a couple, they went on a couple of dates off camera. I got them to spend a lot of time with one another, and they were working on their relationship. Obviously, it's not perfect considering the context. They were enemies. Wow, lots of broken custom content on the baby on Mars. But, they went on a lot of dates, and the relationship isn't super duper high because obviously considering, like I was saying, the context of everything and everything they had been through, and it's obviously there are still going to be some rocky patches, but for the most part, they really, really do like each other. They're like really enjoying their relationship. They love spending time with one another, and I wouldn't say they're in love yet. They're not quite there, but they're like at a certain point with everything. But basically, I'm just going to get this little one. Can you use the potty by yourself? You can. Can you clean it first? It's a little dirty. But although Thea and Kiera, they're beginning to move really fast with their relationship, and I acknowledge that they're moving fast. I know what you're thinking. compared to where we were at in the last part, like, you skipped a lot. And that is all on purpose, because moving this quickly has a lot of weaknesses. They're beginning to learn certain things about one another that they necessarily don't like, and a bunch of it also does have to, stem from the fact that they used to be enemies. A lot of it stems from that, but they also kind of don't communicate things properly, which, leads to the weaknesses in their relationship. But yeah, I'm gonna get into a little bit more of that story later, but I have more for it. But yeah, so there is weaknesses, but most of the communication issues are actually coming from, believe it or not, Thea. Kiera is, even though, like, as she mentioned to Thea in our last part, she was like, I don't know how I feel about rushing into, like, a friendship or any of this with you, just because of the way, you've treated me in the past and the way you act sometimes. And I know what you're thinking, like, yeah, there was a lot of off-camera stuff done in between. No, you're a vegetarian. But, yeah, I'm aware of that, and it's on purpose. It is to show, like, a crazy difference. It's also because I don't want to have too many parts in between, and I don't want, like, to dedicate a part just to them working on their relationship, especially considering now I don't really have a lot of time to film and record, so I'm trying to get through what I need to get through, in a sense. I don't know, but yeah. But even considering what Kiera had said and stated about, like, how, she was like, oh, I don't want to rush into anything, and then, I would assume it's been, like, 3 months. Maybe they've been together for 3 months now. So a little bit of a time skip, I know, but I like to be, like, I like to be a little bit realistic. I don't think it's like, hey, it's the next sim day of the relationship, or, like, something like that, or, like, considering how quickly Mars ages up and stuff like that. But I just like to be a little bit more realistic. Also, are you napping or sleeping? He's sleeping, good job. But yeah, but I assume they've been together for 3 months now, and so obviously, Kiera's not at that point anymore where she's like, I don't know if I want to be friends with you, because, she really likes Thea. And I honestly think there's a possibility that Kiera might like Thea more than Thea likes Kiera. I think Kiera is potentially, like, more so almost in love with Thea. Like, she's not necessarily there yet, but I think she's close to it. And I think she, thinks to herself about, like, how, like, she can see things developing so much further with Thea. Thea, on the other hand, is just so tied up with everything that has happened in her life, and mainly all these problems stem from, like, oh, I used to not like Kiera, like, what if Kiera, she's caught up in her head and thinks, like, oh, what if Kiera doesn't like me the way I like her? What if Kiera just thinks about me in the sense of all the things I did in the past and how rude I was to her? What if that's all she sees me as still? So Thea's very in her head, and she's especially in her head about things like what happened with Staria, in the sense where, like, Thea was falling in love with this individual. She was falling in love with them, and Staria, they just kind of took off out of nowhere. Not a single word being like, hey, I'm leaving, or like, hey, I quit my job, or, nothing. And Thea sent so many messages to them being like, hey, you haven't gotten back to me, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like Thea's even gotten to a point where she's messaged them, she's messaged Staria and been like, I'm pregnant, or like, hey, I'm going to have your child, and stuff like that. And I think before Mars was born, Thea probably gave up with all that, and, just didn't say, like, oh, hey, Staria, it's me, your son was born, his name is Mars. I think that she honestly kind of gave up with them at that point, with Staria at that point, and just, didn't care to message them, because Thea probably thought to herself, like, they didn't care enough to, message me. They didn't care enough to get back to me. Obviously, they don't care about their child, so why should I tell them more? But that's kind of where Thea sees it from. But Thea is still very stuck up on that and everything with Staria, and it's definitely clouding her judgment, clouding her thoughts, and making her very bad at communicating, and also almost self-destructive of her and Kiera's relationship, which is not a good thing, but unfortunately it is something happening in the relationship. But I'm going to do some more storytelling kind of and working things and showing you guys Kiera after, Thea goes to sleep, and I'm also going to send Thea to work. And yeah, well, I will be back once Thea's back from work. So we're back. She just got back from work, and she's inviting over Kiera. But yeah, so Thea's she had an embarrassing day at work, which kind of sucks, but it's whatever. Also, I don't know why Sims keep coming from the backyard. It's a little bit weird, but it's fine. It's whatever. Oh wait, she actually came from the front. Also, her hot weather wear is super cute. I love how messily she is. That was like one thing I did not want to change when I gave her a makeover, but here she is. I also like potentially include screenshots, if I remember to, of like them on their dates and them and stuff. This is like a weird face to make because I can't like clearly see her face. But here's Kiera. She's very beautiful. I think she's super pretty. I love her makeover. And yeah, I also don't know if you guys knew this, but she had tattoos. She's always had the tattoos. I think they're cute. I think you might have actually been able to see them before in a certain one of her outfits, but I don't know. But let's just ask about her day and like see how she's doing and, brighten her day. Like, this is our girlfriend. She still wants to know how she's doing and stuff like that, even though, she's at a point, Thea's at a point where she's still like, whenever she hangs out with Kiera, she can't help but like self-sabotage like every time, where she's kind of like, oh my gosh, what if she thinks this, and what if she thinks this, or what if she leaves me like out of nowhere, like Thea's at a very weird spot. She is also a jealous sim, so she's like has a little bit of like some jealousy issues, or like even like not abandonment, but like I guess also kind of like being randomly left by her partner is a fear of hers. Although it's not something that she has talked well enough to, like, about with Kiera. Like, Kiera doesn't know these fears. Kiera doesn't even know of anything, that happened with Staria. Like, she has no idea that they were, someone in, Thea's life. Besides, obviously Mars. Like, I would assume Kiera knows about Mars. Kiera did not just see Mars as an alien. I would like to think that yes, Mars does go into his human disguise whenever Kiera's around, except for just then. If you guys don't know, I stated it in the last video, the last part, but apparently alien babies can't use self-disguises, so technically he can't actually use one. However, I imagine, like, in my imagination, I imagine him to go into, like, a human disguise every time. So, Kiera has no idea that Mars is a baby. I mean, I did it again. I said this in the last part, but that Mars is a alien. But yeah, none of that in her knowledge whatsoever. So, all Staria, not all Staria, all Kiera knows about Staria is the fact that they are the parent to Mars. They don't know anything except for the fact that, like, they are Mars's parent and that they are just not involved in Mars's life. But, like, very basic things like that. And I feel like Kiera's the type of person, Kiera definitely would want to have talked more about these things. And she probably tries to get Thea to open up, but Thea is, like, also so afraid of opening up because she's afraid Kiera will leave her that she just doesn't do it, or anything that she does say is very, like, minor, and, not enough for Kiera, I can't speak today, not enough for Kiera to, like, understand what's going on with Thea, or like why there is like an obvious like rift in their relationship, and why like it like because I would imagine it to feel like it is like an obvious thing, like, oh, there's something off present between the two of us. Like, for people who've been together for 3 months, you know, it's you know, obviously it's allowed to be casual, but it's like almost too casual, and not necessarily it's not casual in a good way. Like, it definitely feels, you know, odd. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, there's obviously something going on in the relationship. Kiera notices it. Every time she tries to talk to Thea about it, Thea, you know, kind of disregards it or plays it off. And I imagine this is actually Kiera, like, probably, you know, wanting to take off and leave, but Thea would be like, no, stay, like, don't leave. You know, try to convince them to stay. Ooh, I can get them to woohoo. Let's get them to do that. I think that would be cool. I imagine, like, Kiera's trying to leave, and then Thea was like, no, like, I promise you, nothing's going on. If there was, I would tell you. Like, you know, it's all good like that. And obviously, Kiera's gonna eat this all up. She's gonna be like, okay, whatever, well, whatever you say, Thea. But, oh my gosh. Ooh, they just made out. My game is not working, and it's killing me here. I'm just trying to get them to woohoo, and, like, they're doing anything but woohooing. Although their, like, bar is going up so high. No! See, she does want to leave. Guys, woohoo, what if I tell them to do it in the shower? Do you think that would work? It's not even an option. Oh my goodness. So I added, Teresa? Oh my gosh. Wrong person again. I added Kiera into my household to see if, like, maybe that would help. I don't think it is. They just don't seem to be doing it. Okay, let's try the shower. They're woohooing in the shower. Oh my gosh, this is actually the first time woohooing. That's kind of crazy. I thought I might have gotten them to woohoo before. I guess not. But that's exciting. Ooh. I love this for them. But yeah, but Thea was just like, I promise you, I'm not lying to you, everything's okay. Like, you gotta go with what I'm saying. I'm all good. And you know, Kiera wants to trust Thea, so Kiera's like, okay, I believe you. If you say nothing's wrong, then nothing's wrong. And I feel like the two of them just, their conversation kind of led to a little bit of a woohoo session. Oh wow, no corrections used. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, I'm gonna let Thea take a shower. But let's end it off on Kiera. I know this part was like no gameplay in all story, but to be fair, I haven't played in a while, and I just really wanted to just get in and talk a little bit about everything that I've had planned, and everything in terms of like what I just really want to come across. Like I said, I know that they have rushed into things, and I know that might make their relationship seem like a little bit forced or, rushed, though, like the best word to describe it, which is what it is. But that's on purpose. You're supposed to see this and being like, what's going on? Like, they're already together, they've been together for 3 months, and what's, like, something seems off. What's gonna happen? And we're gonna don't worry, you guys will figure out what's gonna happen in, future parts, because I have a lot written out for their story, and there is some stuff, but I love the character I've created for Thea. I think Thea is very messy, but I think that makes her so interesting, and let's just say Kiera has a lot in store for her, and so does Thea, and they have like a whole thing that their relationship is gonna go through. So you might think like, oh, they're rushing in. I can assure you, the rushing is a part of my plan. It is a part of the potential future flavor that their love life has. But that is all, guys. I know this, like I said earlier, I know this part was just all pure story, no gameplay, just me kind of talking the entire time, like blah blah blah. But I really just wanted to discuss things and just work on their storyline. I love it, and I think I'm playing the Notsoberry challenge wrong in that aspect in terms of a let's play in a YouTube series, but I don't know, I find it makes it more enjoyable, like, I don't know, in my opinion, because I'm sure you've all seen people play Notsoberry over and over again, and then, you know, everyone has their own story to it, but they focus on gameplay a lot, so I don't know, mine is like, I'm low-key focusing more on story than gameplay, I don't know, but yeah, if you guys haven't already, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up, comment down below where you think Kiera and Thea's relationship is going, and what's your thoughts on Thea being like, you know, kind of self-destructive to her and Kiera's relationship. Like, I know it hasn't come across that much in this part, in terms of what she's done, but I promise you she is quite self-destructive. But comment down below your thoughts on that, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That would mean a lot to me, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everybody.